Hello and welcome to Blue Army TV. I'm sitting up to Carlisle. I've lost in dramatic fashion away at Portsmouth in what is such a, heartbreaking, gut-wrenching defeat. It's just such a difficult one to take, and it's been a while since we lost in this kind of fashion, to be fair. It's never nice to be on the other side of a last-minute winner, especially when it comes in the way it did. But yeah, it's just so frustrating because I think Carlisle put in so much work to still be in that game come the 94th minute or whenever the goal was scored. I think we defended really well. I thought we were on the verge of getting another clean sheet. I think we had our chances going forward, Butterworth played well when he came on. He had a good shot saved. And I think there's another world where we come out of that with a draw or at least a win. But on the other hand, it's another 1-0 defeat. It's another time where we've failed to score and conceded, just one of the few chances we've conceded. And look, I seriously think that a goalkeeper the size of Thomas Hawley should be coming and claiming that ball when it comes in. It's also the fault of Jack Armour letting his man go for a free header. It's such a frustrating goal because we've defended so well. Thomas Hawley's played so well for the entire 93 plus however many seconds until that goal comes. And we defended so well, and to concede such a sloppy chance like that, it's so frustrating because we made it so far in the game. And yes, Portsmouth were the better team. We expected them to be the better team. They're top of the league for a reason. They are Portsmouth, ex-Premier League club, and we're coming up against them. And the fact that we're coming away from it, having conceded in the way we did, it is heartbreaking. Especially when you look, the header should never have been allowed to happen because Jack Armour should be marking his man. Yes, he's a bit bigger than Jack Armour, but it's a free header in the box. He doesn't have to jump for it. It's a free, brilliant bullet header. Thomas Hawley, though, for me, I think he needs to come out and collect the cross, and I think maybe even the cross that comes in before the corner where he makes the amazing save, I'll give him credit for that. But there is a world where he comes out and claims that cross and he doesn't have to make the save, and then he doesn't have to concede from the corner. And look, we've criticised the goalkeepers a lot, and, it's not a massive mistake from him by any stretch of the imagination, but just the way that he'd been playing all game, I think he'd done really well all game, Thomas Hawley, and I think he'd let himself down in that final moment. And look, people are disagreeing with me already on Twitter and the likes, saying that it's more of a Jack Armour error. And look, I do agree with that. I think Jack Armour really shouldn't have let his man go in that area. And even if it's not particularly him, every player has to take responsibility for somebody getting that much room in the box. But yeah, look, but speaking apart from the defence now, it's very difficult for us to win games if we're never scoring goals, which, look, we scored 3 at Bolton, or should I say Jordan Gibson scored 3 at Bolton, but we're not scoring good goals. We haven't scored really any this season, and what I mean by that is, a well-worked goal that's just a good finish and that's it. Every single goal we've scored so far this season has been a heavy deflection, or an absolute screamer. They're either really awful goals or really, really, really good goals. When you think back to Owen Moxon's goal on the opening day of the season, we're not scoring routine goals like other teams are, and that's the frustrating part for me. Even go back to Jordan Gibson's hat-trick. You think a penalty, okay. You think a big deflection, and then you think into an open net because the keeper's gone up for a corner. We're not scoring these routine goals where it's like cross into the box, header, goal, or pass along the middle, good shot, goal. We're not scoring routine goals like teams need to be in this division, and that's the thing that's worrying for me. We're not creating the type of goal on a regular basis that we can start to rely on. We're having to rely on either moments of brilliance from our own players, which aren't going to come around often enough to save us, or huge mistakes from the opposition, and that seems to be the only way we can score at the minute. But look, there is a certain amount of positivity to be taken from the fact that we're still in the game that late on, because that was definitely our game plan going into today. We're coming up against the best team in the division by a long stretch, in my opinion. And we've defended well, and we've come there to stay in the game as long as possible and then try and nick something at the end. And that'll be a lot of teams' mottos, especially towards the end of the table that we're at, where we're going to go. People will go to Portsmouth purely to try and stay in the game long enough to try and nick something at the end. And that's what we did, and we did do that quite effectively until that last few seconds where they score the winner. A little bit of positivity, I think Dan Butterworth did well when he came on, obviously playing well in that friendly game against Blackburn, or reserve, not Blackburn, sorry, Blackpool, or a reserve game, county cup, I can't, Central League Cup, that's the name of it, but, not a league game by any stretch. But I think he played well when he came on. He obviously had that shot that was really well saved, and you've got to think, there's a lot of keepers in this division that would have let that in, and you think, a goal that late on, that was into stoppage time itself. If we score that 92nd minute, we come away with the win, and we're full of positivity for the game. But because we've conceded so late on, and because we've got our hopes up so much towards the end of that game, especially with the chances we had in the second half, and then to have it ripped away from us in the way that it has been, it's very, very frustrating and heartbreaking for every Carlisle fan there. And then, again, huge credit to the Carlisle fans that made that trip. It's a trip that I'm, not willing to make myself, but some of the fans at our club are absolutely insane making that trip. There was people that set off last night driving and only getting there in time for the game. It's such a long journey down. It's literally the other end of the country. It is the extreme. It's the coast. But, yeah, no, look, fantastic support from Carlisle once again. But some more positive note is that apparently there's been a slight breakthrough in the pure pay debt talks. I don't know what that means, and I think it's been left intentionally vague, perhaps to just try and get Carlisle fans to think that things are happening. Maybe it's just a sort of thing, we'll put something out there, we won't tell them what, just because we've been quiet for too long. Maybe it's a case of that. But if it is true that there's been a breakthrough in the pure pay talks, and I've tried to stop myself getting my hopes up for for pretty much all of this takeover business, because I've always thought there'd be issues with that. If that is being close to resolved, then I think it's a massive, massive milestone, because that is, in my opinion, it was the thing that was stopping it going forward. Yes, they can do as many presentations as they want, but as long as that debt's still there, and as long as they refuse to cooperate with us, that's going to be forever the big, big hurdle for any takeover. And if that's being close to being that, if that hurdle's being close to being jumped over, then I think it's a real, real big positive, and I think it's a bigger deal than any loss we can have on the day-to-day. But yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and in a bit.